throughout the nation and around the globe. From his heart to yours, it's Dear James Live, bringing you intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And June is chock full. This second half of June, leading up to July, is just chock full of astrological occurrences, energies, happenings. Welcome, Alicia. So let's take a quick look at what's going on, and then we'll get to the theme. Welcome, Colleen. So from mid-month, from the 12th of June, we have Uranus squaring the lunar nodes, and we have talked about how they are plucking the cord that is going to reverberate for quite some time. Welcome, Heather. Then we have, on the 15th, we had the new moon in Gemini. On the 19th, Chiron entered Taurus. That is the main energy that we're going to be working with, is Chiron is leaving Aries and is moving into Taurus. It will retrograde again about 4 months from now. But it is going on a 7-year journey into Taurus, the healing of the body, the soul, the spirit, Earth, Mother Earth, all of this, where we take the healing that has been brought up in Aries, and then we root it. We really ground it into our lives in terms of physical manifestation of healing. On the 21st, we had the sun enter Cancer, which is the solstice. It's the longest day in the northern hemisphere, shortest in the southern. And then coming up on the 29th, we have Mercury retrograding. Yes, Mercury is retrograding for about 3 weeks till the 23rd of July. On the same day, we will have the full moon in Capricorn. There is a lot going on. And so I want to bring up quickly, before we go to that theme, A-TISKET, A-TASKET, a long lost basket. Here is the chart for when Chiron enters Taurus. It happened on the 19th of June. And a couple of things. The first thing was Uranus. You see in the chart that Uranus, it's on the kind of lower right, is squaring. It's a frictional aspect. So it's squaring the south node and the moon. The south node and the moon are together. They're conjunct at 3 degrees Virgo. And it's a very interesting thing. What I heard when I looked at that, Uranus squaring the south node and the moon, was blessings. A surprise a minute, revealed, renewed to you. Welcome, Olivia. So recognize that we are going to have these kind of surprise a minute revelations and renewals that are blessings. Uranus is, of course, the higher mind. It's expect the unexpected, and it's squaring the south node, what we're releasing. And when we release the past, when we release what no longer serves us, it's a blessing. It is a gift. It's a renewal. And so we're going to have that. And then, of course, the new moon, new beginnings, new opportunities and things. And the moon both, absorbs light and conceals light, but it reveals. And so we have blessings, a surprise a minute, revealed, renewed to you, 3 exclamation points from the unseen. And then, just bringing the chart back up really quickly again, and then we also have number 2 from the unseen. It's where the sun is squaring Neptune. And they said burning away, the unseen said burning away the illusions of, quote, how you show up in the world. So this is about burning this sun square. This is about healing. So the sun squaring Neptune, it's about burning away the illusion of how you show up in the world. There's an aspect here about, again, when we are living, and it's our key word, authentic. So let me just bring that up really quickly. Our beautiful image of being authentic. This beautiful, almost like fairy-esque, being dancing in the forest, and just the liberation, the freedom that comes when we are authentic, when we are literally in our oneness with Creator, creation, the unseen, your soul, and how that manifests. And so we have this aspect about burning away the illusion. Welcome, Kiki. About burning away the illusions of how you show up in the world. This is not about shoulda, woulda, couldas and what we think we're supposed to be or what somebody else wants or needs us to be. That's the past. The present future is about what does my soul know it came here to do, it wants to do, and how we release that south node with the moon. We release this where Uranus is squaring the south node in the moon, and the moon, so that it reveals our true nature. Not what people expect, not what our ego, mind, personality, the labels, the scripts, the identities, the stories, the accolades, all of that stuff, gone. When we're just stripped down bare, when we let all that go, what's revealed to us? What comes to the fore? What inspires us? What says, I've known to do this for a long time, or I've wanted to do this for a long time? And it's time. It's finally time. And this Chiron in Taurus, this healing, is how we get there. This is a 7-year cycle, so it takes about 50 years for Chiron to make it around the astrological wheel, if you will. So give or take. But let's just take a real quick, I want to give you our keyword again. I'm just going to bring this back up. Beautiful image. I love this image. And authentic. It means genuine, bona fide, real, true to its origins. Something or someone who is real, true, or what people say it is. Not false or copied, genuine, real. Spiritually, it centers on living in complete alignment with your soul's essence rather than conforming to external expectations. It requires shedding ego-driven desires and societal conditioning to express your true, innermost nature. This is Chiron in Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign. It's how we ground this, how we bring it to fruition, and how we heal through the manifestation of the physical. The physical body is the most dense body we have. We have emotional bodies, we have mental bodies, we have astral bodies. There are so many elements to human beings. And so here we're going to Chiron, the wounded healer, Chiron in Taurus. We're going to heal these aspects of ourselves. So now let's go back to, I'm going to bring up the what all of these mean. What I heard when I looked at that astrological wheel, that horary chart for Chiron entering Taurus, Chiron in Taurus. And I heard A-TISKET, A-TASKET, a long lost basket. And so, A-TISKET, A-TASKET. The nursery rhyme has no official spiritual or religious origin. Originally in 1879, it was a playground singing game. Its title words are essentially nonsense syllables. However, the rhyme has taken on spiritual and symbolic meaning through its core imagery, the basket and the lost letter. The basket as abundance and life. Spiritually, the basket is viewed as a vessel of abundance. We are that vessel of abundance. We are the basket. This is what the unseen wants us to understand. We are a vessel of abundance. It's innate, it's inherent, it's divine. And so spiritually, the basket is viewed as a vessel of abundance. In various traditions, baskets symbolize optimism and holding life's blessings. The idea of a basket being filled, even when it appears empty, represents receiving divine gifts and having one's needs met, echoing spiritual parables about a vessel that is constantly refilled by the unseen, by the universe, by God, by the divine. So we are this this vessel that's holding life's blessings, that's a vessel of abundance, that is spiritually replenished from the unseen. It's ongoing, it's eternal. The letter as a communication and connection. In the original children's circle game, a player sends a letter to a friend, drops it, and someone else picks it up. Spiritually, this action represents the concept of intent, connection, and divine messages. Dropping the letter can symbolize the loss of a connection, while picking it up represents taking responsibility for your relationships and maintaining spiritual bonds with others. So this is about, lost and found. It's like, have we lost our connection? Do we not realize our connection? Do we not realize our abundance as this vessel, this basket, and how we can pick that letter back up and carry on right where we are, because it's ever present. The unseen, the all that is, the divine is ever present. Your connection to the divine is ever present. You as a spiritual vessel, an abundant vessel, holding life's blessings, constant, eternal, ongoing. So we pick the letter back up. It's about resilience and overcoming adversity. The act of losing a message and chasing after it is often used in modern psychological and moral frameworks to teach children and adults alike about resilience. It symbolizes the spiritual journey of facing setbacks, accepting responsibility for the things we let slip, choices, and taking action to reclaim what we have lost. There's a huge message here from the unseen. They're in this moment, they're like, this taking action to reclaim what we have lost. It's up to us to take the action, to pick up the lost letter, to recognize that the basket, the glass is full. It's not empty. And that the unseen is ever present, always wanting for us, wanting the most expansive, abundant, pure, authentic experience, true north. Lastly, the green and yellow basket. Folklorists and analysts have often debated the meaning of the colors. While mostly chosen for their sing-song rhyme, green is universally tied to growth, abundance, and healing, while yellow represents joy and intellect. So this is a Chiron in Taurus, this healing that we're going to bring into Mother Earth, bring into our bodies. It's tied to growth, expansion, abundance, currency, prosperity, healing. And yellow, joy and intellect, consciousness, and the joy of that. Now let's move to a long-lost basket. So spiritually, a long-lost basket symbolizes the recovery of forgotten blessings, the return of your harvest, and divine preservation. Baskets represent vessels for gathering and storing spiritual or material abundance. Finding one suggests you are entering a season where dormant gifts or talents are being restored to you. Things that were lost, hidden. Uranus squaring the south node and the moon. We talk a lot about emptying the vessel, emptying the basket. To let go of the past, south node, let go of the past. The moon, Uranus, bringing these things. So when we do, we're making room for the new things to come into our lives. We're making room for unknown, unseen things to occur that illuminate us, bring us new opportunity. The spiritual meaning of this symbol, a long-lost basket, spans several powerful themes. It's about restored blessings and abundance. Baskets represent the harvest. If you have felt a lack of purpose or financial emptiness, finding a lost basket indicates that bigger blessings and rewards are returning to your life. This is about where we feel lost or empty or stuck or, financially, Taurus, money, earth, financially, it's a currency, empty. They're restored. The blessings are restored. The abundance is restored. It's about divine protection and preparation. Across spiritual traditions, a basket acts as a vessel of safety, much like the papyrus basket of Moses in the reeds. It suggests that your fears and burdens have been safely held or contained by a higher power while you navigated a storm. Everything is purposeful, everything's happening for us, and these blessings don't go away. Colleen is saying all of that. Exactly. These things don't go away. They may be suspended, if you will, so that our focus is brought in, it gets recalibrated, so that our focus, what are we doing these things for? Why are we doing what we're doing in life? What are the choices that we're making? Are we doing it because it's authentic? Or are we doing it because it's what somebody expects, or it's a status symbol, or it's what I'm supposed to be? That's the old Piscean patriarchal I era. The Aquarian matriarchal era, the we, says, oh, I operate from my soul. It's pure, it's authentic. And what I do, the intention with what I do is so pure. It just radiates, it comes forward. I know to do this, a tide lifts all boats. I know to do it for all, and in reciprocity, in receiving, it's already coming back to me. The I will receive it as the I puts it out for the we. That is an inversion of where we've been. It's also about reclaiming your roots. It can be a prompt from the universe or your ancestors to look back at your history, that south node, what we've come into this life with. Can be past lives, issues, and things. Our past, literal past in this moment. To look back at our history, ancient talents, passions, or cultural wisdom you once put aside are being uncovered to help you on your current path. So things that may have been present to us in childhood or as we came into life, and life kind of, quote unquote, beats things out of us, and we put them on a shelf, we put them aside. Well, now it's about ancient talents, passions, or cultural wisdom you once put aside are being uncovered, Uranus, the moon, uncovered to help you on your current path. It's bringing them back to the fore. Because for this moment in time, we all had to come in. We were all born at the appropriate time to be at this moment now, to carry the torch, to show up in this manner, to make this massive transformation, this metamorphosis, this transfiguration of humanity, of this era and time. So we all had to come in at the right time to be here, to make a massive change. We came in with what we needed. It may have gotten dulled or put on a shelf or, beaten out of us, so to speak. I'm using that term, meaning life can happen and it kind of beats us down. And yet these gifts, the basket, this A-TISKET, A-TASKET, a long lost basket, all of this is being awakened within us. All of it is within us. It is you already. It's already present. Now it comes to the fore. And lastly, releasing your burdens. Many traditions use the metaphor of a burden basket. Finding a long lost one may be a spiritual reminder to drop the daily anxieties and complaints that you've been unnecessarily carrying around. We have a choice in this moment. We can focus on the good, the hope, the vitality, the abundance. What is before us? What's arriving? What are we literally reaching up to claim? Or we can be mired in the anxiety, the frustration, the irritation, the round peg square hole. It's to recognize what are we trying, what is meant to go that we're trying to force into our current lives. It's because the human says, well, this is what's always worked for me, and I know how to do this, or I know X, Y, and Z. This is unknown to me. I don't understand it. I don't know it. Once we surrender the fear, the anxiety, the irritation, and we just stay in a lane of embodiment. I have everything I need. When I stand in my authentic nature, my authenticity, my soul, everything is effortless. It comes to the fore. It does not mean that we don't have to take action, show up, surrender where we need to surrender, to not do something that we know not to do. That's where our free will and our choice comes in. It marries the two together. That's where the ego, mind, personality, human is in service to soul source connection. So divine masculine in service to and with divine feminine. This is when that marriage comes together. It's next level harmony, bliss. It does require effort. We have to show up and let the soul, the unseen, lead, guide us. Let's move into our main theme. I love this. Healing what hurts. A walk down memory lane. And in this image, you see a group of human beings walking on this path, road. There's like an illuminated, it's like the sun and the starburst just radiating and swirling. And you see this planet above. And this invoked, it's number 7, which came from the show back on April 22nd. And 22, by the way, master number 22 is in our numbers today. But on the 22nd of April, it was Field of Dreams. The Great Awakener acts, takes action. And this was Uranus entering Gemini. Uranus in Gemini is a 7-year cycle, give or take, 7-year cycle. Number 7, from the unseen, they said Field of Dreams. When the spirit of the past awakens, the spirit of the past awakening is the God strand, the DNA, the divine DNA. Scientists have called it junk DNA or dark DNA. We've had this conversation some shows ago. But this is about Field of Dreams. So healing what hurts and this awakening that our spiritual awakening, this next iteration of humanity. And remember, many of these things can sound fantastical, otherworldly, woo-woo. And yet I go back over and over and over again. I'm drawn back to the fact that in the Old Testament of the Bible, in historical records of multiple civilizations across the globe, across Earth, there is a movie out, if you all have not seen it, please do, called Disclosure Day, just came out. And there's this, the point is that over and over again, we humans, humanity has been shown, has been visited, given gifts. And there's recordation of all of this that says that otherworldly beings have come and assisted humanity. Just because that hasn't, quote unquote, visibly been experienced in millennia doesn't mean it won't now. It's happened before. It's happened many times before. There's recorded history. There's biblical history. There is a history. Now, the powers that be may not want us to, subscribe to that narrative, that truth, out of fear or control or manipulation and power and all of these things. Okay. And yet, when these things occurred, they transcend language. They transcend status and gender, and they speak to the soul of us. They speak to the whole of us. And so there's this aspect here of Field of Dreams, when the spirit of the past awakens. And it's about the God strand, the divine DNA within us, awakened, where Chiron in Taurus and Uranus in Gemini, all of these compacted, and look at the number, so much happening just in the second half of June, astronomically, leading up to what comes in July. we're going to begin next week. The July show is An Emerging World. And there's light at the end of the tunnel. July is going to be a pivotal, powerful, transformative month. And so and it's about an emerging world and how we literally quantum leap forward individually, collectively, universally. This massive shift. And it's number 3 from the unseen. Everything's changing. Unexpected and unprecedented, quote, waves of change. So it's going to come in waves. It's going to, and literally, as you look at the main theme image again, you see how, like, the rainbow are rays, waves, rays, octaves. So this, everything's changing, unexpected and unprecedented waves of change. And you see that, in the image and the people walking, and it's this beautiful, otherworldly field of dreams. Build it, they will come, awakening, embodiment. I know it sounds very fantastical, and yet. So walk with your soul, walk with your knowing. This isn't about, again, taking someone else's word for it. This is about realizing and recognizing you are the spiritual vessel, the basket, holding all of this abundance, this prosperity, this limitlessness, and that we're healing what hurts. It's a walk down memory lane, meaning we're going to be shown, South Node, we're going to be shown what to release, what to heal, what to let go of. And we'll equally know that what's before us, the North Node, what's before us is unknown to us. We've never been there before. It is something that comes out of nowhere. We go about life, in our daily lives, we go about aligning in each day, do what we can in each moment that is aligned. Master Jesus said over and over and over again, be ready, be ready, be ready. Be ready means be in alignment with. Are you in alignment with your soul? Are you in alignment with your authenticity, the purity of your being, your essence? Are you living an authentic life? Or is it mired in ego, mind, personality, artificial intelligence, not original intelligence? And how, when we're ready, when we're aligned, just makes it that much easier. Okay, healing what hurts. So spiritually, healing what hurts is the process of unraveling false ego identities and transforming old wounds into wisdom. It is a sacred calling to confront buried pain at its root. That's that word root twice. It's going to be in here 3 or 4 times. You'll see coming up. At its root, rather than ignoring it, allowing you to shed spiritual baggage and reconnect with your authentic whole self. Your whole self is your soul self. The spiritual meaning of this journey encompasses several profound shifts. So this journey of healing what hurts. It's about uncovering true wholeness. Spiritual healing is not about ignoring pain or patching it up. Instead, it is the realization that beneath your wounds resides a permanent state of peace. It strips away illusions to remind you of your eternal harmony. So our wounds aren't there to harm us and hurt us. They are there actually to heal us, to reveal, remember, without an irritant in the oyster, there is no pearl. We can't create the pearl without the irritant. So the wound is the impetus to bring about the wisdom, the pearl. So don't stay stuck on the surface or in the illusion, the irritant. Move through to the wisdom, to the pearl, to the gift. It's about transcending the past, Pain often creates distorted beliefs about who you are. Healing requires giving up the hope of a better past. By actively releasing, grieving, and forgiving. This is about not being mired or stuck in the pain of something, but seeing that everyone plays their part in their role for us. We are the stars of our own play, our own universe. On a soul level, we ask people to come in and play roles for us, to mirror to us, to reflect what our soul wants to experience, transmute, transcend, heal, explore. And so when we recognize that, even when someone has harmed us, hurt us, when we release the harm, the how that came about, and we get below the surface, there's wisdom there. We can see beyond the pain of something, the wound, to get to the wisdom. This shifts your future from being dictated by past suffering to being guided by grace. And it's also to recognize that other people's pain, hurt people. Well, other people's pain is a vehicle. It's not our lesson. We're not meant to be stuck in or allow our lives to be dictated by past suffering, by past experience, by someone else's past pain. That's theirs. What we're meant to do is harness that pain, that experience, for our empowerment, our healing, our growth, our evolution. How we do that is by working through healing what hurts. The dark of the night paradox. Often, healing feels much more painful than the initial wound itself. This is because as you awaken, your system resists letting go of familiar defense mechanisms. This discomfort is viewed as a fire that clears the illusion. This is about burning away the illusions of how you show up in the world. Authentic you, authentic us. Authentic means pure, real, bona fide. So this discomfort is viewed as a fire that clears the illusion rather than a sign of regression. We don't want to be stuck in the pain. We want to transcend it. Transcending it doesn't mean ignoring it or burying it. It means seeing through it to get to the deeper, greater gift and wisdom of it. When you can actually say, thank you, namaste, it doesn't have to be directly. It can be literal or it can be figuratively. But when you can stand there and look at something that has harmed you, and literally, genuinely, authentically say, namaste, I bow to the divine in you. Thank you, genuinely thank you for showing up to reflect XYZ. You've found the pearl, you've found the wisdom. And once you're there, at that point, it will continue to unfold, to flower, to blossom and bloom. Because the pearl is growing, the wisdom is growing. It doesn't stop. So, from a metaphysical connection, specific traditions teach that wherever you are in pain, be it fear, anger, or denial, that area of your spirit and body is effectively stuck and prevented from growing. Engaging with the pain allows you to unlock that trapped energy. We don't want to hold on to anger and resentment and envy and jealousy and fear and rage, because those harm our basket, our vessel, our body. The other people go about living their lives. So allow that energy to move through you, to be released, so that, again, you come back to an authentic, pure state of being. So healing what hurts, and now a walk down memory lane. Spiritually, a walk down memory lane is an intentional return to your past to find meaning, healing, and course correction in the present. It's not about getting stuck there. It's like past life regression or multi-life incarnation work. We don't visit the past to live there or stay there. We visit the past to assist us in the present future moment, to allow us to release old wounds, energy, things, so that it purifies. It's like the forge in the fire, like we place the metal, the impurities in the metal go into a forge, raw iron ore, you pull them out, they hammer, 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 it's beating out the impurities, and ultimately what's left is the purity of that natural raw element. That's the work we're doing here. So a walk down memory lane is an intentional return to your past to find meaning, healing, and course correction in the present. It serves as a tool for spiritual grounding, where reflecting on past events helps you trace a higher purpose, cultivate gratitude, and restore faith for the future. It's about tracing divine guidance. Reflecting on the past allows you to see the footprints of the divine in your life. It helps you realize that seemingly difficult or random events ultimately led to growth, fostering deep gratitude and trust in your spiritual path. It's about trusting in the unseen. It's footprints in the sand, that beautiful song and poem, that the unseen is ever present. They're always there, even when we don't believe they are, we can't see them, or we're hurt the most. And yet, they're ever present. It's about strengthening faith. When faced with uncertainty, revisiting times when you overcame obstacles or received unexpected blessings builds spiritual resilience. It acts as an assurance that the guidance you received in the past will continue to support you moving forward. It's about fostering self-compassion. Looking at your earlier self helps you integrate your history into your current identity. Allow your life experiences to refine you, not define you. So this is about self-compassion. This is about acknowledging we're human. We have all made, air quotes, less than good choices. But that doesn't mean that those choices weren't purposeful. They are. Even if to demonstrate what we're not to be or don't want to be. They're purposeful. So don't try to kill them or eradicate them. Look at your earlier self helps you integrate your history into a current identity. It allows you to offer grace to your past struggles and better understand who you've become, who you're becoming, who we all are becoming. If we stayed stuck in all of the air quotes bad choices we've made throughout life, then we would be stuck in bad energy, in this cyclical shadow, goo, doom and gloom. But the unseen, the eternal, the divine is ever joyous, ever present, ever evolving, ever wanting, ever forgiving, that we can stand and say, yes, let me learn from this. Let me heal what hurts. Let me allow it to refine me. And then I make, air quotes, better choices moving forward. And lastly, it's about connecting with the present. Spiritual memory isn't about living in the past. It's about retaining the meaning of past experiences to shape how you live here and now. It keeps you aligned with your core values and life purpose. This healing what hurts, a walk down memory lane, this field of dreams, build it and they will come. The great awakener acts and takes action. This awakening, Uranus and Gemini, this awakening. Gemini is the twins. It's about how we think. It's ruled by Mercury, so it's how we think and communicate, and it's our expansiveness. It's an air sign. It's about fluidity and movement. So all of this is about moving into, remember, we're going back to where we began, an octave higher. So it is about a higher octave of self, of our heaven on earth experience. It's everything changes. Everything's changing. Unexpected and unprecedented waves of change. 4 from the unseen, 4 is foundational. Love takes time. Healing the wounds of the past. And then they said victory. So there's victory in this healing what hurts. There's victory. The unseen is very clear about this. The future is abundant. It looks like Rome is burning. Yes, yes, it does. But again, that's the forge. That's the iron ore in the forge. And we are masterfully pounding, beating out the impurities so as to arrive in the new. That metal comes out of the forge, having been beaten. The impurities are being beaten out, and what's left is pure. It's authentic. And so love takes time, healing the wounds of the past. There's victory here. It's assured. You can do it. I can do it. We can do it. As above, so below. The unseen is doing it. It sees all. There's no hiding from God, the divine, the unseen. There's no hiding. So let's just get on with it. Let's recognize these truths, recognize otherworldly assistance, and be in the flow of this most beautiful journey, this walk down memory lane. Because remember, again, Master Jesus said to the disciples after the crucifixion and resurrection, and he appeared to them in the room, in the locked room, and he said, and they were asking, where are we going? Where are we going? It's unknown to us, right? And he said, you ask where you're going without knowing where you've been. We have to recognize where we've been. What are the wounds that we have caused, chosen? 8 billion plus souls, millennia of humanity. You ask where you're going without knowing where you've been. Well, let's heal what hurts. Healing what hurts. A walk down memory lane. The healing doesn't have to be painful. We don't have to fear it. We just have to be in alignment with it. Choose to look at it. Choose to see the past. Got it. Understand. I'm seeing deeper than I have before. Oh, I see how you showed up for me. Okay. And move through. That doesn't mean that people from your past, you don't have to allow people in. If that's not correct or right, you'll know it. Your soul will know it. It doesn't mean, because forgiveness doesn't mean inclusion. It doesn't have to mean inclusion, meaning I allow somebody that harms. That allowing somebody that may harm you, if they've evolved, kind of, what is it, a leopard change its spots and so forth. Okay, well, let's see. But if you instinctively know, your soul will know. Then you thank you for the lessons, I got it, and you move along. It doesn't mean that forgiveness isn't conditioned upon allowing further harm. That's not the moral of the story. It's about recognizing the lesson, the opportunity that was offered, what your souls wanted to experience, and then saying, I'm choosing to elevate and ascend and transcend and move forward. Oh, you're still stuck? You haven't learned the lesson? Namaste. I bow to the divine in you. Keep going, but I don't have to invite you back in. I don't have to include you in that way. I can wish you well, genuinely, authentically, but I don't have to invite you back in. So now let's look at, where are we? Let's look at our mantra really quickly as well. It's a beautiful mantra. I am the light. And this ties to, it's from John 8:12. I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. There is a message. So I am the light. And there's a message in this that it's a reminder. Much of Master Jesus, his life, his teachings, all of this have or are wrapped up in quote unquote organized religion. However, the messaging, the purity, the authenticity of the word transcends all. So it's a universal spiritual message. It can be received in a religious manner, but it doesn't stop there. It transcends all of that. And so this I am the light, our mantra, I am the light, is to remember the basket, the vessel of abundance, the joy, the purity, the authenticity. I am the light. And so it speaks about Master Jesus claims to be the ultimate source of truth, grace, and spiritual guidance, dispelling the darkness of sin and ignorance. By using the phrase I am, echoing God's revelation to Moses in Exodus 3:14, Jesus is asserting his divinity and oneness with God, with the divine, with the Father. The verse requires a choice. To follow him brings assurance that believers will not wander aimlessly in spiritual blindness. Remember, separate this from, and I mean no disrespect to organized religion. What the unseen is wanting us to understand is the purity of the word, of the message, of the scripture, of the teachings transcends quote unquote Christianity. It transcends it. It's why many religions have a universal theme. Many cultures, there's a universal theme, message, truth. And that's what they're speaking to here. Master Jesus delivered this message in the temple courts in Jerusalem during the Festival of Tabernacles. During the week-long celebration, large candelabras were lit in the temple courtyard to symbolize the pillar of fire that guided the Israelites through the wilderness, the Exodus. Master Jesus was declaring that he is the true eternal beacon meant to guide humanity. So, I am the light. And in Matthew 5:14, Master Jesus also extends this metaphor to his followers, telling them, you are the light of the world. We are all one. We are this oneness, this spark of creation. And so when we again harness the unity of that, the empowerment of that, the purity of that, the authenticity of that, it heals, it unifies, we come into balance. Love takes time, healing the wounds of the past. There's victory here. 6 from the unseen, locked and loaded. You're ready and able to claim victory. 3 exclamation points. So not only is healing the wounds of the past victory, we're locked and loaded. Locked and loaded means to be fully prepared and ready for immediate action. Be ready. So to be fully prepared and ready for immediate action, locked and loaded. You're ready and able to claim victory. There's victory here. We are the light of the world. So now, let's take a look and move to astrobutterfly.com. And Chiron enters Taurus, healing, worth, money, and what matters. And it's our first quote from astrobutterfly.com. The body knows long before the mind understands. The body is the most physical. So our healing, wounded healer Chiron, is in Taurus. The body knows long before the mind understands. We were born with an inner barometer that tells us, through the body, what is good for us and what isn't. Most of us have simply forgotten how to read it. That inner barometer, call it sensing, instinct, deeper knowing, intuition, soul source connection, is the front line of truth, and everything builds on it. Ignore it, and our whole life becomes a lie. Chiron's ingress into Taurus on June 19th, 2026, opens the door to restoring it. There is that. It's revealed, it's renewed, these blessings, a surprise a minute. So Taurus opens the door, Chiron in Taurus opens the door to restoring it. With Chiron in Taurus, there's no more hiding, distracting ourselves, or keeping busy. The time has come to fully and finally come to terms with that part of us that is Taurus. In a way, we must do it. We must do this. We have no choice. In the past 7 years, Uranus has been savaging the Taurus area of our chart, sending electric shocks through it, burning it down, pulling the ground beneath our feet. Whether our mind agrees with this or not yet, we needed this shakeup. It's the tower that we've talked about so many times, and that the tower need not be negative or harmful. So we needed this shakeup, astrobutterfly.com. Like everything that is alive, Taurus cannot survive on stagnation. Uranus left us with ashes, and this is from where Chiron is taking over. It's the Phoenix moment. Chiron orbits closer to the sun than Uranus, which makes its energy more accessible to us. Not easy, but workable. When Uranus overwhelms, Chiron can be met and worked with. Chiron's orbit takes around 50 years, which means its return arrives just after the midlife transits, at the point in life when we're finally ready to face what it asks of us. Something fundamental becomes available to shift. It makes sense when we look at Chiron's symbolism: half horse, half man, half animal, and half God. Chiron represents the ongoing process of making nature and consciousness work together. Without Chiron, we can only live half lives and half truths. Chiron pushes our buttons. He's called the wounded healer after all, so that we finally address what we've been avoiding. The result is not, quote, healing in a therapeutic sense, but alignment, restoration, evolutionary relief. This isn't a flash in the pan. This is about deep alignment, restoration, evolutionary relief. So how will Chiron express itself during its upcoming 7-year stay in Taurus? First, this is a rare transit, not the kind we get every other year, where we have the luxury to try and learn. The last time Chiron was in Taurus was around 50 years ago, from 1976 to 1983. And what is rare is significant. Unless we live for another 50 years, we won't get another opportunity to heal that part of us that is Taurus. If there is one thing that the world and every one of us desperately needs right now, it's healing the animal within us. It's about healing that raw nature, the divine masculine within us, that creative force. The Taurus wound is the exile from the body, from the knowing, from the primal trust that it's safe to be here. That's your soul source connection, your intimate knowing that no matter what's happening on the earth plane, I'm safe, I'm sovereign, I'm whole. And when I connect and stay in that lane of truth, of vitality, of abundance, then the other things lose their power, meaning they're not controlling and holding. It's out of fear that humans make bad choices, less than good choices, or shadow choices. When things are abundant and prosperous and thriving, typically humans make, air quotes, positive choices, good choices. So, astrobutterfly.com. When that primal trust is broken through early experiences of scarcity, conditional love, having to earn our place, being too much or not enough, the body stops feeling safe and the knowing goes offline. When the knowing goes offline, we end up not fully living, running on autopilot, going through the motions or emotions, one and the same, both the motions and the emotions. When Taurus knowing is restored, we just know what is good for us, what makes sense and what helps us grow. There's a sense of foundation and trust and empowerment that goes in when we're aligned and we know, it's a knowing, we know, and we trust it. We're not overriding it. In this, we make good choices, and then all the things we normally associate with Taurus, self-worth, self-value, pleasure, money, productivity, follow downstream from there. They flow in alignment with it. It's number 5 from the unseen. And 5 denotes change. They said, steady as she goes, a calm delivery to one's intended destination. Stay steady as she goes. Stay calm and centered. Walk with the wounds. this healing what hurts, a walk down memory lane, it's okay. Be one with it. Allow it to come up, not fester. Allow it to come up. See it from a neutral place and work through it and transmute it, release it. Imagine again, over and over again, the temperance card, the iron ore, the raw iron ore in the forge. And each time something comes up, you're pounding, see that you're pounding away the red hot iron ore, and you're pounding away at the impurities, releasing them, allowing them to leave you, which means greater healing, wholeness, authenticity, oneness. Now we're going to move to Astrology by Lauren. She begins with a quote by the Buddhist monk Pema Chodron. Compassion is not a relationship between the healer and the wounded. It's a relationship between equals. Only when we know our own darkness well can we be present with the darkness of others. Compassion becomes real when we recognize our shared humanity. There's a beauty in Namaste, I bow to the divine in you. We're all divine. Hurt people, hurt people. We don't have to allow our past to define us. It can refine us, and thereby, but it's a choice. And so all of this compassion becomes real when we recognize our shared humanity. So Astrology by Lauren. On June 19th, Chiron makes its debut entrance into Taurus. This is just a brief preview where Chiron will merely dip its toes into the next sign on its journey through the zodiac. On September 17th of 2026, it will retrograde back into Aries and then will re-enter Taurus again on April 15th of 27, where it will remain for the next 7 years. Chiron enters Taurus just before the sun enters Cancer on the solstice, forming a sextile, it's a harmonious aspect, of potential with the sun on the Earth's axis. Likewise, the sun and Chiron are both making positive alignments with the true node, the north node, the true node, marking this as a significant and notable event globally as well as personally. You see again how from the 12th of June through to the end, and then we hit July. July is a pivotal month. But look how compressed all of this massive major energy is. And so it's making a significant and notable event globally as well as personally. So what can we expect from the approximately 7-year transit of Chiron in Taurus? While Chiron was in Aries, we were all cautioned to focus on our own self-healing. If we didn't tend to our own wounds, we are no use to anyone else. But as Chiron moves from Aries to Taurus, it makes its initial shift from the individual, see, from the I, from the independent warrior to interdependence, we. One of the things we become aware of are the ways that we need and depend on each other in ways that we may not have fully appreciated. And that includes our relationship to Earth, our mother. It will become abundantly clear how we are connected economically, how the economic balance and imbalance affect the natural flow of commerce, and how much we rely on health and well-being of the planet as well as our physical bodies. Again, it's all well and good to mass produce this consumerism. Produce, manufacture. When all of the wealth is held in 1%, the 99% have no ability to purchase what you're pumping out, producing, manufacturing. There's too much of an imbalance. It creates stagnation, waste. At some point, the understanding is that, you want consumerism? Then these 99% need the ability, a living wage, the ability to purchase, to consume. Otherwise, it's fruitless. It's meaningless. So, it will affect the natural flow of commerce and how much we rely on the health and well-being of the planet as well as our physical bodies. Taurus has to do with financial interconnectedness, worthiness, and what we value. And Chiron here will compel us to address wealth scarcity due to consolidation and food scarcity due to climate and economic changes. However, it also compels us to consider how well we value ourselves on a personal level. It will always be an inside job. Our self-value, self-worth, our ability to transcend, to aspire, is an inside job. It always will be. It is not dependent on another person's valuation of us. Sorry, I had a little tickle in my throat. So, for instance, and this is Astrology by Lauren, for instance, being willing to ask for help and or for what we deserve and or need to survive. So it's about how this compels us to recognize our own value and our willingness to ask for help and assistance when we need it, and that we deserve it. It's not entitlement, but that we can, coming from a place of purity, seek assistance. The solstice on the 21st is one of the 4 magical corners of the solar year, the longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere and the shortest in the south. It is a day of power and initiation, memorialized at sunrise by the heel stone of Stonehenge. Midsummer has been celebrated with bonfires which welcome prosperity and fertility and drive out evil. So how significant is it that the solstice is so closely sextile the centaur Chiron, fresh into Taurus, the sign associated with prosperity and fertility? They're coming together. Look at all of this fruitfulness, this help, this abundance. Sextiles are aspects of potential and opportunity. It's what we make of them that counts. So rather than thinking of this as an uphill climb or that the decks are stacked against us, we are being shown the ways and means that a new world is possible. Field of dreams, build it, they will come, when the spirit of the past awakens. It's about what's possible, the new world that is possible. It's up to us to make the most of it. And Chiron will show us what is broken and not working anymore. Economic, political, and ecological tipping points are merely the outer ramifications, the irritant, of something that goes much deeper. This is when we ask the questions about when enough is enough. And is it possible for a tiny minority to own too much? Perhaps this could include moving away from our reliance on fossil fuels, coal, and other limited resources. It's about choosing differently. It's about recognizing all of the old dogma, no matter whether it's familial, social, religious, economic, whatever it might be, trickle down and all of this other stuff. There's so many. And recognizing, well, wait a minute. How's that working out for us? Where has that gotten us? Where have these belief systems contained us, minimized us, kept us enslaved? And what is our soul telling us that's possible? What do we know to be true? And are we willing to follow it, to fight for it, to vote for it, to show up for it? Astrology by Lauren. Of course, these are just some possibilities, but know that these economic, political, and ecological tipping points are the evidence of what is broken and needs to be fixed. Pardon me. This is our second quote. Chiron not only shows us the wound, it brings us the remedies. So Chiron's not going to just show us the wound of what needs to be healed. It's going to bring us the remedies. It's a collaborative effort, the unseen. And Astrology by Lauren, she ends with a quote by L.R. Nost. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. Our mantra, I am the light. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. This quote by L.R. Nost. There's so much more here, and I'm mindful of the time, so I just, steady as she goes, a calm delivery to one's intended destination. There's deliverance at hand. There is a healing what hurts, a walk down memory lane. There are blessings, a surprise, a minute revealed, renewed to us, to you. And this burning away of the illusion of how you show up in the world. To be authentic. Everything's changing, unexpected and unprecedented waves of change. And I just want to bring in waves of change because North Point, I'm going to post all of these on the Dearjames Facebook page. Pam Youngin's North Point Journal, her title for this week was Approaching Waves. There's a lot of synchronicity here. And there's another one that I will post as well. It's Juliana McCarthy with etherealculture.com. And this healing, Chiron enters Taurus, and the healing of our worth, values, and our relationship to Earth. And her final quote, which is our quote 3, which, there we are, worth at its root. There's that word again. Worth at its root requires no proof. We are enough just because we breathe. Pardon me, because we are. And that in lies our conclusion here, which is master number 22. And master number 22, in spiritual traditions, the number 22 is a highly revered master number. Known as the master builder, it symbolizes the profound ability to turn ambitious dreams into tangible reality. This is what we're talking about, this heaven on earth, this utopia, this pure, good. Pure doesn't mean perfect. It means pure, good, authentic, real, bona fide. Master number 22. It's our number today. It's, again, the 422-26 show, Field of Dreams, the Great Awakener acts. 22, it symbolizes the profound ability to turn ambitious dreams into tangible reality. It bridges the gap between spiritual intuition and physical manifestation, representing divine creation, balance, and lasting legacies. This will be the legacy of our lifetimes. This transformation, this change, this up-leveling, this octave, and how we show up as our soul self. It's transformational. It's next level amazing. And thereby, it signifies that you have the power to turn grand visions into concrete realities. Number 22 embodies a deep equilibrium between the material world and the spiritual realm. It urges you to stay grounded while pursuing your soul's purpose. Stay grounded, stay humble, stay pure, stay true. It's often associated with serving others, Aquarian, matriarchal. It encourages you to use your unique gifts for the greater good. A tide lifts all boats. This is the moment. They're saying to me, this is the moment you've been waiting for. This is it. So let's all show up. All right. Love you all. Thank you all so much for your energy, your presence, your presence on this journey, and you know, this a walk down memory lane. I'm just bringing up the main theme again as we close out, this beautiful image of these humans walking in the openness with this radiant, swirling source, universe above, this planet above, new earth, a new octave. And yet they walk a field of dreams. They walk in knowing. They walk in faith and trust, in inspiration of what is. Can't wait to see what's up next. We'll see you all next week.
You've been listening to Dearjames Live. Gain intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions and so much more by tuning in next week and visiting dearjames.com.